Ha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. What a freaking blessing to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. A lot of drama, a lot of trauma and drama going on in the XRP XRPL ecosystem. And I say, you know what I say? I say freaking hooray, hooray that it's here. Because until we have open discussions and dialogue about the challenges in the XRPL ecosystem, we can't move forward. It's just a thing that I say on our channel all the time. We cannot merely just be hoped up. That's not going to cut it. That is not living in reality. We have to level up. Right? We say level up our XRP IQ, level up our IQ on digital assets, right? Level up our financial IQ. Well, 99% of people in the community, in the XRP community, don't know that the validators that's supposed to represent decentralization don't get to implement decentralization unless it goes through a centralized entity first. And that centralized entity gives the yay or nay, and then you get to exercise decentralization. That's the reality of the XRPL ecosystem. And it's time for us to have a conversation about the pros and cons of it. That I'm going to cover some posts here on Crypto X and having some conversation. But until we address that issue, until someone like Yassine has the balls and the courage to speak to the heart of the issue, and perhaps, I don't know, perhaps one day muster up the courage to offer some critical thinking on your own, as opposed to being hoped up, and as opposed to just because Brad says, oh, well, the world is freaking, it's no longer round, it's freaking flat, then the world must be flat. Or because David Schwartz says the world is no longer round, it's flat. Well, the world, it's got to be flat then. Right? This is the challenge. This is the challenge. And what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that the world isn't flat, but there's no conversation about it. There's no conversation. There's no compass. You know, we have a saying in our business that when two or more come together, it creates a third and better mind. When two minds come together, it creates a third and more powerful mind. We don't have that in the XRPL ecosystem. That's the bottom line. And no one wants to be open and honest about it. No one wants to be open and honest about it. How are you going to have a foundation that is essentially overseen by employees of a centralized entity? What the world? It doesn't matter how well intended they are. If you're an employee of a centralized entity, there's a problem. You understand that? In a decentralized thing that you're trying to oversee, nonprofit or whatever. Do you understand? There's a problem there. And no one is freaking addressing it. There's a problem. This Ripple X Dev thing is a placeholder. It's a placeholder. What's really going on there? It's sad. I'm going to go over some stuff here. Then I'm going to share my repost from Hugo Filion. Something that, you know, if you've been following this channel, I've been saying for a very, very long time about Hugo and the team and what they did from day freaking one. from day one. A lot of people think that just because you have a centralized entity, it doesn't mean that they wake up in the morning looking to cause harm. But here's the other thing. When you make a choice, it could be right or wrong. And if there is no discussion, again, if Ripple just had their thing and they were building their business and they were just doing their thing, cool. It's their business. Let them do their thing. But that's not what it is. They also incorporate the governance of the open, public, decentralized public network that is the XRPL network. Period. That's what they do. They're not just a company just doing their thing and leveraging XRPL's technology. No, they decide the direction. You understand? And what if they're wrong? And first of all, how we don't know they're wrong until after they've done it. Because there's no dialogue, there's no open discussion from the community about a said thing. This whole idea of, well, it could break, it might break. Well, isn't this still technology? Isn't it still technology? My land, Solana has failed. The thing has, like, it ceased to continue to operate for moments and hours at a time. What, 2 or 3 times the blockchain just shut down? And yet, new projects keep coming to it and building on it. Really? It shut down, fam. It stopped working. The blockchain stopped 2 or 3 times. And yet it is thriving. So, like, for some reason, Ripple seems to think that the world's going to end if there's some challenge or issue with the ledger, or like the payments thing, like something. Oh man, it slowed down. Oh my God. Oh, it bogged down. Oh, this. So freaking what? What do you really think Google today is Google when it first got started? Do you really think Google today is Google 10 years after its inception? Give me a freaking break already. Well, here's the challenge. Brad and Chris didn't get to hear what I just said in an open discussion, a forum, and perhaps maybe Short the FOMO or perhaps VIT or Panos chimed in on that. And there was some open discussion. Again, we're not talking about having an open discussion about Ripple and its products. We're talking about the open discussion about the XRPL, you know, the thing that's supposed to be open, public, decentralized. We're talking about that. Where's the conversation about that? This is what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get into some of the crypto X stuff. Do me a favor, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. It's all good, baby. I'm still gonna love you anyhow. Agree or disagree, we're good. Let me know in the comments. So Moon Chaser said, I am saddened to see the departure of the infra providers who have given so much to the XRPL community. Yeah, so these people, they're out, they're leaving. They're leaving. Infra providers, they're leaving. Off Ledger's leaving, Alloy Networks leaving apparently, and Short the FOMO. Moon Chaser says, I still hold out hope. A decentralized community can still unite under central ideas of respect and understanding. I agree. Just like if you put something on the freaking XRPL and it bogs it down, you can freaking fix it. It ain't the end of the world. But we didn't get to have a say in that. And that's a big, big problem. We did not get to have a say as XRP holders on smart contracts being on the XRPL. We didn't get to have a say, and neither did the few validators that we have. Period. Stop messing around with it. Stop being scared to say something about Ripple. Stop being scared to say something about David or Brad. Give me a break already. We are all in this together. At least that's what we want to be. We want to be all on this together. Panel said something. It's just reply to Alloy Networks, one of the people leaving. Alloy Network says it is time for the so-called enterprises to step up and run this decentralized system. What's the point of having a few players running critical infrastructure? Arguably, even one in this case. If indeed there are enterprises of any significant size actually using the XRPL. There it is. And Ripple could help them. Ripple could help Bitso set up something. Ripple could help the African, whatever. Any of these payment providers, they can set up one. Ripple can help them set it up. They're leveraging the technology, let them set something up. Help them set it up. It's not that hard. Or get them to help fund those who are willing to set up the thing and know how to do it, period. They're benefiting from it. Plano says this, very sad to see critical infra providers leaving the network, but Alloy Network makes a very good point. It's time for companies and projects building and relying on the XRPL to finally step in and run infrastructure. They have the inherent incentive to do so. It's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And just because one dude who happens to be really, really smart said no incentive is the best incentive doesn't mean that he's right. Tell me about the open discussion and conversation that we all had about it. And when are we going to stop thinking that, oh, we're just retail. Oh, we're just retail people. We don't matter. It's insignificant. We can't do any freaking thing. Can't move the price, can't have a critical thinking conversation. When are we going to get rid of that kind of mindset? Why does that always do that, man? I mean, I click on something. Anyway, here it is. Makes a very good point. It's time for companies and products building and relying on the XRPL to finally step in and run infrastructure. They have the inherent incentive to do so. There are at least a few hundred projects on the XRPL, and only a small percentage runs validators and nodes, not to mention full history nodes. We all need to hold projects, and especially big ones, accountable for the way they are contributing to the network. Couldn't agree with panels more. Couldn't agree with them more. It's bottom line. And there's one reason why that's not going on, and it's called Ripple. You know, I get this little proposal to kind of change the way foundation is and try to change some things, get more of community involved in this foundation. All that's cool. But if we have a gatekeeper, we have a gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper has to be removed. The concept of this gatekeeper, it's got to go, period. It's got to go. You can't have a centralized entity being the gatekeeper of a decentralized, open, and public network. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Doesn't mean that Brad and Chris wake up in the morning and say, how can we ruin the XRPL? Yeah, how can we ruin this XRPL? Let's crash the price of XRP. Let's freaking figure out a way to ruin retail investors. It's not like they wake up to do that, but the bottom line is just that's one entity with by the way, with one idea and mindset. It's one. You understand? In the end, it's just one thing, one say. It's not open collective discussions about what might be best for the XRPL. Is Ripple the company genius in motion? Of course it is. What they did to build out RippleNet, genius in motion. Bottom line is the direction of the XRPL is not in the hands of the community, it's in the hands of one entity. Let me say that again. The direction of the XRPL is not in the hands of the community. It is in the hands of one company. So Yassine, is kind of speaking the truth. Well, number one, he says, I no longer agree. How about that? The best incentive is no incentive. He said, I no longer agree. You understand? He also says, I've been involved in this ecosystem since the early days, 2013. It's sad and shameful to see. Okay. It's sad and shameful to see how Ripple mishandled the incentives concept in the XRPL. How Ripple passed on the concept of programmable transfer of value. Programmable transfer of value before ETH even existed. You notice that he's not saying that the DAO and the governments mishandled the incentives. You know why he's not saying that a DAO mishandled the concept and passed on the concept of programmable transfer of value before it even existed? I mean, before ETH existed. You know how he's not pointing to the governance or DAO? He's pointing to Ripple. Why does do I don't know how they pass on the concept of program? Okay, how they continue to milk the escrow account without any meaningful benefit to the ecosystem and public ledger. There, I said it, says Yassine. That's the bottom line. That is the truth, Ruth. And again, when I say that, it's a dude who has an part of the ecosystem, wants to be a value add, wants the ecosystem to grow and profit and prosper, who has an opinion on something. Yet there's no, this has been, he finally said it, right? Because there is nowhere for this open thing in the direction of the XRPL. Is there a forum? Sure. But Ripple don't have to hop on that forum. There's no back and forth between us and Ripple, the company. Where is that back and forth? But they have the control of the direction of the XRPL. Doesn't happen. It's no back and forth. And that's a problem. That is a big, big problem. And we're going to see if Monica Long or Joel Katz are going to respond to any of this. Someone asked a very interesting question. And any idea how out of touch Ripple X Dev is? This has been an ongoing issue. So many top projects left XRP Ledger because of the lack of support given from the Ripple team. Ripple is turning their back on the XRPL faster than them leaving the community. Hashtag shame. So let me share something that Hugo put out. Hugo is a smart guy, and he has a way of speaking the truth, right? He has a way of kind of getting his thing out, right? He kind of does it on a little stealth mode. Let me share. Let me do my thing here. Share that. I retweeted his post. Is it reposted his post? I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't know what it is anymore. Is it retweeted the tweet or reposted the post? Hugo says, if you care about operating quality infrastructure, competitive decentralized data, and meaningful decentralized governance, where is your network? I mean, that's a haymaker if you really understand what he's saying here. And people outside of the community have been saying it. People outside the community have been saying this. One of them was Ryan Selkis. And I said, I have been saying for years on my YouTube channel that Ripple should have followed Hugo Fillion's playbook from day one. From day one. So listen, there it is, fam. This is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you've been hanging out watching the crypto season, you've enjoyed those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you. Bye.